Welcome to the Hydrogen Fuel Cells Europe here at the Hannovermesse 2022. My name is Muriel Burkas and I'm going to be moderating the next interview. I'm very excited to have a special guest here on stage on the last day of the fair. For all the people also listening remotely, a warm welcome from wherever you are. The next guest is also a moderator here, so please welcome on stage Joost Wendling. He's the marketing director of Sap Solutions, and we will talk about turnkey hydrogen fuel cell systems for heavy-duty applications. Please give him a warm welcome. Good to have you here, Joost.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been here before this week, but then on the other side, so it's good to be on this side of the podium as well.
I don't know, I think it's a first that we have a moderator playing both sides.
It might be, it might be.
Might be. Okay, so now on this side, you're the expert, so tell me a bit about Sap Solutions. What is your company doing?
Yeah, at Sap Solutions we produce fully integrated hydrogen fuel cell systems, mostly aimed at the medium to heavy duty applications.
How old is your company?
So the company was founded in, 5 years ago at least. So the company is 5 years old, and we've actually started from, we've quite a special origin story, I would say. Maybe some of the people here have seen the race car that's over there. I was in a race team in 2018, this was, I believe, and it's the Forza Hydrogen race team. And this is it's a student team from the University of Technology in Delft, and it's a bunch of students, and we take a gap year, and then we use that gap year to build this amazing hydrogen race car. And a few years before me, there were some other people in that team as well, and they really experienced what hydrogen has to offer. This team has started already in 2007 when there wasn't that much happening and when this fair was a lot smaller, I imagine. So these 5 people noticed that they were hanging around together a lot, talking about hydrogen, talking about the commercial applications of hydrogen. And they decided, you know what, let's start a company together and apply all this knowledge that we have gathered in this team and produce the best fuel cell system there is. And the rest is history, as they say.
Okay, sounds like the classic startup dream. Some friends, student friends, founding a company together. I see some people joining. Dear audience, please have a seat, have some refreshments, relax and listen to the talk. So that's 5 years in. You're with the company since 4 years, if I remember correctly. So you really were like, okay, turn a dream into reality. You believed in the hydrogen, in the technology. So how is it going so far, 5 years in?
Yeah, it's going great. I have to say, I've only been with the company for 2 years, but that's all right. Yeah, it's going great. So we have quite some applications where our systems are installed now, and some others in the pipeline. I think we'll be talking about those in a bit. Yeah, it's going good. We have our first product on the market. You can buy it and it's there, and we've really outgrown this earlier stage, right? As have the rest of the field, I think.
You just mentioned your products. What kind of products do you have? What is there? Can you elaborate a bit?
Yeah, sure. So the product we have out on the market right now is called the Zepp Y50, and this is a 50 kilowatt fuel cell system. It works from, I think it's 18. I have this written down somewhere. Yeah, it's 15 to 60 kilowatts, so it's a pretty broad range. We aim it at 50 kilowatt applications, and this is, you know, for shunting tractors or maybe small trailers, those type of applications, medium to heavy duty, and it's a fully integrated hydrogen fuel cell system. So what that means is everything you need to turn hydrogen into electricity is integrated in this system. And that makes it very easy for larger OEMs, for instance, or smaller OEMs for that matter, to integrate this system in their products and, you know, experience the benefits of hydrogen without having to know a lot about hydrogen and without having to learn how this balance of plants should be set up, and without having to learn how all the control software and the energy management software should work. So it's a full package. Basically, all you need to attach it to is, you need your hydrogen supply. We can also help you with that, but you need a hydrogen supply. Then you have our system. It has the air pump. Everything is in there. You need some sort of heat sink to get rid of that waste heat. A radiator. Maybe you can heat your cabin with it, or maybe you can use the heat in another way. But you need to get rid of that heat, and a 12-volt supply to to control the unit and turn it on. And what you get is 700 volts DC power out. So the DC-DC converter is integrated. It's really a full package.
Okay, you mentioned it's a full package. However, also other companies are offering fully integrated systems. What sets you apart from them?
Yeah, indeed. We see this more and more, these fully integrated systems. I think what really sets us apart is the fact that we don't have our own stack, right? A lot of these complete systems that you can buy here are made or assembled or produced or whatever by companies that have their own hydrogen technology, their own stack. And that means that if a competitor, it's a rapidly changing market, so there is a big chance that a competitor might have a better stack at some point, and then you are stuck with your own outdated stack. And we are really a system integrator, so we focus on the assembly of these units that are super small, by the way, high power density. But we focus on that assembly, and that allows us to really switch to other components if something better becomes available on the market. And that is really what we have, build our software around, build our control system around, being able to easily jump into new developments on the market. So better stack, no problem, we can put it in and it works, and that's how we can always offer the customers the best that's available at that moment in time.
Makes sense. So it's more designed as a platform that you are as flexible as possible for all the changes coming up in a very young and dynamic industry. Okay, so let's dive into maybe ongoing projects. What is Sap Solutions doing at the moment?
I noticed I was looking at the time now. I think that's a moderator thing to be doing here.
That's my job.
Yeah, exactly. I won't be looking at the clock anymore. So the projects. We have our launching customer was Terberg. This is a Dutch company, and they make shunting trailers. I think it's called yard tractors. Apologies. And these are the tractors that you see in shipyards and in harbors, and they move these big freight containers around. And this is really a perfect application for hydrogen because it's a fleet that is they have to earn money. It's a commercial vehicle, so it's important that this vehicle is always working and earning money for the owners, and they're always sort of in the same place. So you're less infrastructure dependent, let's say. So this was our launching customer. We've built one of these Y50 modules into their application. It was actually a bit earlier than the Y50, but sort of the same. This was 2 years ago, and ever since, this truck has been driving around in Rotterdam, in the UK, wherever, and still doing its job pretty well. Then another project that we are working on as we speak, actually, is the integration of one of these Y50 units into the water taxi in Rotterdam. For those of you who have been to Rotterdam, you probably see these yellow ships there racing around, I think I can say. And now one of our modules is being built into this one of these water taxis as we speak. It's actually today. I've seen some pictures, so that's a very exciting project.
Exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And what's extra nice about that project, I think, personally at least, is that this water taxi is really sort of an iconic thing in Rotterdam. And to see that now is the time where we can turn these iconic, well-established applications, and we can also make a hydrogen version of that. That is amazing. We've got some other ships. We've got some excavators. Excavators are actually in the Netherlands, especially. We have a pretty pressing nitrogen crisis, as we call it, and this is really halting the whole building industry. So that is a very exciting application for us as well. These excavators, and there's others. There's more in the pipeline, but the thing is, we're working hard, and they're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you've also told me about some more projects. So based on this, my next question needs to be like, how big is the company now? Because there's so much going on.
Yeah, I understand. With this many projects in such a short time, it must feel like we're with 100 people. In fact, we're only with 15. We are rapidly growing, however. But this is also part of why we design these units the way we do. There's very little application-specific integration that needs to happen because we have this module, it's a box, and yes, we can make it in a vertical version if you want, or a horizontal version, whatever works for that application. But other than that, there's very little engineering effort, both from the customer side and from our side, necessary to integrate this unit into a different application.
Okay, so it's really like an easy or simple product that fits as many markets as possible. Okay, at this point I would like to open up to the audience also. Are there any questions? If not, I'll continue. You can ask your questions later. Just give me a signal and I come down, get them. If you want some refreshments, we're still here and offering. So I guess your product is also an answer to the market. So what do you see in the market? Well, what is the need in the market at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's it's growing a lot, and as we said before, it's a very dynamic market, and we're now slowly coming to the point where there are a lot of companies who want to have hydrogen products, but that want nothing to do with hydrogen, right? They don't want to do R&D into the hydrogen itself. They just want to have, a product running on hydrogen, a mobility application. And I guess this is similar to, for instance, diesel engines. If you go to someone making tractors, they're probably not building their own diesel engine. They just buy the diesel engine somewhere else, and that's the gap we are filling in the market. We offer, I guess you could call them hydrogen engines because the process is the same. You buy the engine, you integrate it, done.
So Sap Solutions is still a young company. You still call it a startup. What's the vision? What are the plans for the future for Sap Solutions?
Well, first of all, would be to have a stand here, of course, at Hydrogen Fuel Cells Europe. So maybe next year that's the case. For now, definitely growth. We have a lot of interesting projects coming up, as we said. So we are recruiting, always looking for people. So if someone wants to work in the field, go to me after the talk. A lot of other projects coming up, as I said. And we're scaling up our production now and looking into setting up a production line. So we're busy with investors, etc. So it's a very interesting time to be in the company.
Sounds amazing. You've mentioned also always looking for people. How is it for you? Because the topic actually came up several times this week, the war for talents. How is it for you for Sap Solutions? Is this also a challenge?
I think it's always a challenge to find the right people for the job. We have some advantages in the sense that we have close ties with the university still, also because of our young age in the company and as a company. We still have some ties with this race team I was talking about, and obviously that's also a group of talented people who haven't yet entered the job market but are about to. So that's an interesting source for us. So yes, it's a challenge always, but I think we are quite lucky, and usually we have more applicants than vacancies. So that's a good thing.
How to source the talents, basically get it right from the university.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so you're with the company since 2 years, but you're in the project team since 2017, 18, something like 18. What changes do you see in the hydrogen scene since you're in there?
Yeah, so with this race team, our mission was to show the world what hydrogen could do, which now sounds like a very broad mission, right? And everybody who is here knows what hydrogen can do, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But back then that was really different, and we went to a lot of these trade fairs and expos, etc. And it was always these bubble machines, right? Always the electrolyzers, and everybody still had to learn about what is hydrogen? Oh, we split water and it's
Basics.
amazing. Exactly, really the basics. And now this is really a trade fair, right? And we've grown from projects to actual products. And you can walk around here and actually buy a fuel cell if you want. And nobody's going to be like, oh, yeah, but no, we're definitely ready. But yeah, we need 2 years. So a lot has changed. And I think the company has changed with that. And we're ready to sell these units. We have sold them. We are selling them. One thing I haven't mentioned, by the way, I've talked about the Y50, but we've also got the X150. So this is a 150 kilowatt module, and this is especially interesting for larger marine applications, perhaps, or other heavy-duty, mobile or stationary applications. And this one is really aimed, sort of developed in a more modular way. So you can put them together, they can share some of the components, and you can go to megawatt applications if you want. This one is, I think it will be on the test bench later this year. I would say Q3, Q4, and will be available, well, after that.
I can tell that you're the managing director of the company, doing a great job.
Marketing.
So let's also have a look at the collaborations. How do you collaborate? Well, what are your partnerships that you have?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think that's what we see here as well, right? It's very important to find these collaborations because the market is still so young. And we work together with, first of all, Terburg, which I said, our launching customer. We're also working with them on another project, which people will learn about soon. And another interesting collaboration we have is, for instance, with the company making electric drivetrains for ships. So we built this consortium, we call it SWIM, and this is the drivetrain that is used in this water taxi application in Rotterdam that I was just talking about. So the way we've done this is, we believe in this fully integrated approach, and to go even further than offering a fully integrated hydrogen system, together with them we can also offer a fully integrated hydrogen electric drivetrain for ships. So if there's someone and, basically all you need is something that floats, right? And then we can put our drivetrain on there, and you will have a hydrogen electric vessel. And at the moment it's still small, and we only have one specific drivetrain. But if anyone is interested in hydrogen electric drivetrains for ship, they can also we can hook them up, right? And obviously there are many partnerships with other companies in the sector for storage and components, etc. Because as I said, we don't produce our own stack, we don't really produce our own components, so that we can always use the best ones in the market. So yeah, that means a lot of partnerships.
You are really personally also invested in the topic. It's easy to tell your excitement. You started with the hydrogen racing cars. Can you maybe talk, as a last question, a bit about your personal commitment?
Yeah, sure. So when I started this racing team, I mostly started because I wanted to make cool pictures of cars. It wasn't really for the hydrogen, I have to admit. Oh, there was a question there? Or was this? This is... So I learned a lot about hydrogen during that year, and I think most of the people that learn about these, the principles of hydrogen, and as you learn more, it just makes sense, right? And that is the feeling that you get quite quickly. Like, it makes sense. Why are we not doing this? That was what I was feeling in the beginning, and now I'm feeling more, I'm excited that we are doing this. And I'm excited to, help push that development forward. So that's my personal commitment with hydrogen, I would say.
That's amazing. Is there a question? Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh no, it's Brian having a question. This is
another model.
Oh no. Looking back, I didn't really know what the term logistics meant when I started working here, and all of a sudden I discovered that it is the first success story, the fuel cell forklift trucks. We were all thinking, like you, about the race cars. We had these really sexy automobiles around the corner. None of them are there now. And there really isn't a large mass-scale market. Where things are moving is literally trucks, ships, even trains. Do you know why the market, and we're talking about an existing functioning commercial market, which is so important for this industry, why is the commercial market not where we expected it to be, the sexy cars, but in the logistics, even water taxis? Why is that the case?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, I hadn't expected less from you, of course, but I think we have slowly shifted from trying to integrate hydrogen technology where it is relatively easy to where it makes most sense. And it's with these large energy amounts. If you want to bring large energy amounts, as you said, heavy duty, big trucks, that is where hydrogen can really show what it's worth, let's say. And yeah, that's just where the industry is moving, and I think it's a good development as well. So yeah, and it's something we are also trying to do with Zepp. You know, pushing for this X150 module now after the Y50 module. We're actually also working on some trucks ourselves. The Dream Haul project, as it's called. We will be producing 2 N3 trucks for whoever knows a lot about trucks. These are the big sleeper trucks for long haul distance. So yeah, it's a development we are also noticing and trying to, you know, make use of that.
So it's basically being there where it makes sense and not being there where it might be fancy in general. Okay. Looking at the time, unfortunately, we're done, but it was my pleasure to have you here on stage on this side. You did a great job all week moderating. You did an amazing job being on this side and answering all these questions, presenting Sap Solutions. Thank you so much for being here, Joost.
Thank you so much. We don't have a stand here, so sorry, a booth here. So if you do want to learn more about Zepp, I have a lot of business cards in my pocket here. So be sure to find me on the side there, and I'd love to tell you more.
Give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Joost.
Thanks.